Hi, I'm Dr. Leora Mogilner, and I'm a pediatrician at Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York City. I'm also medical director for Reach Out and Read of Greater New York. We've developed this video to provide you with best practices to implement Reach Out and Read at your own site. Our goal is that at the end of this video, you feel more comfortable and able to successfully institute and implement a Reach Out and Read program in your clinic. I became involved with Reach Out and Read 20 years ago when one of my residents came to me and asked if I would be interested in starting a Reach Out and Read program at our clinic. He had heard about it at an AAP meeting and thought it would be a great thing to introduce to our practice. Needless to say, we started our Reach Out and Read program here 20 years ago, and since then it has grown tremendously, and it has become an integral part of the way we practice general pediatrics. Hopefully, those of you who are not familiar with the Reach Out and Read program will learn a lot about it, and at the end of this video, you will understand and feel ready to make Reach Out and Read an integral part of your pediatric primary care. Reach Out and Read promotes early literacy and language development among children growing up in poverty by providing families with the books, support, and information they need to make books and reading an integral part of their children's lives. We know that children who are growing up in economically disadvantaged homes are exposed to far less language than their peers who are growing up in the homes of professionals. A landmark study by Hart and Risley in 1995 showed that children growing up in welfare homes heard 30 million fewer words than their counterparts who are growing up in the homes of professionals. When a parent is trying to figure out how to get enough money to put food on the table or pay for their rent, they may not have the ability to provide as much literacy support to their children. So we know that we need to level the playing field, and we need to provide children with this language and literacy support from an early age. Reach Out and Read provides parents with the tools they need to help their children succeed. We encourage parents to read, talk, and sing with their child. In addition to exposing their children to language, which is how babies learn how to speak, this also helps foster and promote the parent-child bond. And we know that strengthening that parent-child bond is absolutely critical to ensure a child's normal and healthy social and emotional development. As pediatricians, we're all very busy. The beauty of Reach Out and Read is that it's designed to integrate seamlessly into the well-child visit and should not add on any additional time to the length of your visit. In fact, many of us feel that bringing in the book early in the visit actually makes the visit flow more smoothly. If I come into the room of a 2-year-old who's bouncing off the walls and I give the parent and the child a book, immediately I can get information about that parent-child bond. Often the child will take the book, jump into their parent's lap. It may calm them down. It may make them want to engage with the parent around the book. And immediately that will give me information both about the child's developmental status and also about the bond and the relationship between the parent and the child. The parent is happy because their child is now sitting quietly, and they just are very pleased with the whole interaction, and they're grateful that we've given them this beautiful new book to take home. So as you can see, bringing the book in early and using it as part of the visit actually makes the visit flow even better. You have the power to help parents realize the important role they play in their child's cognitive, social, and emotional development. And the really exciting thing is that this can be done through books. The Reach Out and Read model has 3 components. The first component of the program is the book. At every well-child visit, starting with the newborn visit, we give out a brand new, developmentally and culturally appropriate book to the family. Through Reach Out and Read, you can get books in English, Spanish, and bilingual English-Spanish books. But it's really important to tell parents that even if they can't read English, or even if they don't know how to read, they can still engage with their child around books. I always encourage parents to make up stories with the book as they're reading to their child. You can get wordless books, or you can just have the parent talk to their child and comment on the pictures and make up their own story. The books are really a proxy for a child to hear their parent's language. So it doesn't matter if a parent can't read all the words or doesn't really understand what the words are saying. Parents may decide to confide in you and tell you that they have difficulties themselves with reading, or they may not even know how to read. At that point, I would highly recommend providing resources for parents and referrals to organizations that can help parents with their own literacy issues. Reach Out and Read of Greater New York can provide you with a list of resources that you can provide your families to help them develop their own literacy skills. The second component of the model is the anticipatory guidance that the physician delivers to the parent as part of the well-child visit. We give parents specific advice about things that they can do with their child and the book at every age. For infants, we tell parents, starting from birth, respond to your child's sounds and utterances. This helps establish a warm and caring relationship, which is really the backbone of all learning. Reading aloud and talking together every day creates secure relationships and a strong foundation for learning. Talk, sing, read poems and stories with your child. Point a name to things, and this will help your child learn that different objects have different names. So what kind of advice do we give the parents of toddlers? Well, toddlers love rhyming books, and they love hearing the same stories over and over again. You may want to pull your hair out when your kid wants to hear Goodnight Moon for the 52nd time, but if that's what they want, that's fine. In general, toddlers do not have that much control over their environment. So giving them the ability to control what book they read, how they read it, how often it's read, is a wonderful thing because it's one of the few things that children can actually control. We reinforce the importance of creating reading routines, making books a part of bedtime, nap time, and playtime. And again, this idea of serve and return interactions are really important and need to continue throughout childhood. Parents should respond to what their child says, smile and answer when they speak or point to something. And that serve and return, that volleying interaction has been shown to promote a child's language development. And again, it's important to tell parents that reading aloud fosters the development of a rich vocabulary and exposes children to words they may not be hearing in their daily lives. So what advice do we give the parents of preschoolers? Well, you can ask your child to tell you the story. Ask the child questions about the story or the pictures, and make sure to give the child time to answer. Again, the parent has to be willing to read the same book over and over again. Parents should be pointing out letters and numbers, teaching children about rhyming. And this is an opportunity for children to develop what we call their pre-literacy skills, identifying letters and identifying the sounds that go with the letters, something that we call phonemic awareness. All of this can be done by reading with your preschool child. As children get older, we encourage parents to have the child read the book to them or make up their own story, or relate the story to their own experiences. Parents can point out letters and numbers and point out the sounds that go with the letters. We also encourage writing and drawing as other activities that parents can do with their children and books. The third component of the program is the volunteers. While not every Reach Out and Read program has volunteers at their site, volunteers can be a very, very helpful addition to your program. Volunteers read to children in the waiting area and model reading aloud for parents, giving parents ideas and suggestions on how they can actually do this in their own homes. Of course, every medical talk has to have a mnemonic, and this talk is no different. Let's take a look at the mnemonic books. This is going to help you remember some simple steps that can help you achieve a successful Reach Out and Read visit. B is for bringing in age-appropriate books and other materials when you go in to start your visit. I highly recommend bringing in the book at the beginning of the visit so you can incorporate it into the counseling that you're giving parents and use it as a developmental tool to assess the child and assess the bond between the parent and the child. The first O is for offer. Offer the book first to the child and then discuss. The second O is observe. Observe the interactions between the parent and the child around the book and offer feedback. It's really important to point out positive behaviors or interactions that you see that are going on and use them as positive feedback to encourage the families. K is for keep coming back to the book. Use it to encourage the families, use it to point things out as part of the developmental assessment, and use it as a way to give parents positive information about things they can do that are fun and interactive with their child. S is for summarize and encourage. I find that as a pediatrician, I'm always telling parents what not to do. Don't put your baby on their belly. Don't put cereal in the bottle. Don't give juice. Giving the book and encouraging parents to read to their child actually empowers them and is a positive action that parents can do with their child. I always feel great being able to give parents something positive to do instead of always having to say, no, 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 don't do this and don't do that.
The Reach Out and Read program, I think, is really such a great resource for what we're doing here, both because children don't always want to come to the doctor, so it's important to have some kind of a tangible reward before they leave the office, but also it's sending a very important message to the children at a young critical age and also to their families who are not always aware of the importance of reading at home with their children for their children's development.
Reach Out and Read is one of my favorite parts about being a pediatrician. Being able to give out books to my patients in clinic it's just such a joyful and wonderful experience. Reading has always been one of my favorite hobbies and pastimes, and I feel like that love of learning, being able to share that with my the families that I see in clinic is just so special and always such a great part of the visit.
I hope you found this video helpful. But more importantly, I hope you feel more confident providing Reach Out and Read to your patients. If you'd like more information, support, or guidance, please feel free to contact the Reach Out and Read of Greater New York office.